welcoming Pastor John.
Pastor John, yes. Oh, just Alkaline Pastor John. That's my Facebook name, Alkaline Pastor John.
Okay. Well, Pastor John, I'm very, very happy to have you. I heard a lot about you, and I'm excited to share your story. I'm excited for you to share your story and tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it. So welcome. Thank you so much for your time. Again, viewers, I'm Nicolene Bernard, and today our interview will be with Pastor John. Pastor John, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. A lot of folks are waiting to hear your story. You're a very popular man, the alkaline sugar blocker. So tell us, how did you come by that name?
Well, first of all, let me back up. I will answer your question in a moment. The reason why for the disclaimer before I start to speak, because I have things to say to the people, but I want to do the disclaimer first. This information about herbs, fruits, antioxidants, and other products is for general health information only. This presentation is not to be used as a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment of any health condition or problem. You should not rely on information provided in this statement for your own health problems. Any questions regarding your own health should be addressed to your own physician or other healthcare provider. Alkaline Pastor John makes neither warranty nor express or imply representation whatsoever regarding the accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or controversial nature or usefulness of any information contained or referenced by these statements. Alkaline Pastor John does not assume any risk whatsoever for the person listening to this information contained herein. Health-related information changes frequently, and therefore information contained in these statements may be outdated, incomplete, or incorrect. Statements made about products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, mitigate, care, or prevent any disease. Use of these statements does not create an express or imply patient-physician relationship. You are hereby advised to consult with the physician or other professional healthcare provider prior to making any decision or undertaking any action or not undertaking any action related to any healthcare problems or issues you might have at any time now or in the future. You agree that neither Alkaline Pastor John nor any other party is or will be liable or otherwise responsible for any decision made or any action taken or any action not taken due to use of information presented. You also agree that neither Alkaline Pastor John nor any other party are not medical doctors. I don't want to practice medicine. I just want to teach you how to live healthy. I want to teach you that every time you eat or you drink, you are literally feeding a disease or you're fighting it. That's paraphrasing what the father of medicine once said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. That's why we are sick today because of the air you breathe, the water you drink, the water in your bath, the pesticides in your fruits and vegetables, the chemicals you clean with, your cookware you cook with, your lack of sleep, the preservatives on your processed food, and of course, the high sugar intake is causing enormous challenges for anyone in the world today. And here I am. Your first question as you go forward. Let's begin.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. That was in depth and very clear. So before we dive into talking about these products that you've introduced, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Dr. John? Who is Pastor John?
Well, first, I must let people know that the August 6, 1979, 2024 will be 50 years since I give my heart to the Lord Jesus Christ. Older than many people in the world, that will be 50 years. I give my heart. I'm a pastor. Well, I don't know why people say husband of one wife, but it could only be. But I listen to a lot of preachers talk about, but married and have 2 children. And is what took place in my life becomes who is Pastor John and who is Alkaline John, because now I'm outside there trying to help people. to live a better and healthier life because I was sick. I'm a cancer survivor. The thing that I love to talk about a lot, my experience with being sick, knowing that I was not born sick, so something got me sick, and how did I come out of it? That's what I hope that somebody around the world will listen and maybe get help from my testimony.
Oh, great. I'm excited to hear more about this because I know how heartbreaking a lot of folks, their story does not end the way that yours is ending when it comes to a cancer diagnosis. So tell me, I hear an accent. Where are you from originally?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that's where originally I came from.
That's fantastic. What was it like growing up in Trinidad?
Oh, it was tough. You're taking me back deep. I grew up in poverty.
Yeah.
I grew up in a dysfunctional home. I grew up whereby we were told that the area we came from, which was known as Shantytown, East Dry River in Trinidad and Tobago, that nothing good could come out from there. That we cannot even make it. Still to this day, if somebody lived there and may have their address, resume, looking for a job, more than likely it might be challenging for them to get a job because it was very, very hard. We grew up very, very, very poor.
Wow.
And I left home very early to try to see if there is a better life somewhere along the line. I remembered back in 1970, 69 years, early 1970, we had what you call the Black Power movement. I was just 12 years old, a little boy. But because you grew up in a dysfunctional home, you do things that your parents don't know where you are. And I will go to these meetings where the Black Power movement was alive and well. We had the movement speaking against what was known as freedom for Black people. And I will listen to Makandal Daga speak, the leader of that organization. A little boy sitting on dirt floor, listening to him. And he began to explain that there's a gentleman from India, his name is Ram Kipalani, came to Trinidad and Tobago in 1959 and began business with one reel of cloth. We call it bolt of cloth. I don't know in terms of how you may know it, but one reel of fabric, and become one of the richest person in Trinidad and Tobago, starting from there. Those are stuff that start to inspire me that there is life better than where we started. Because at age 6 years old, I began selling because the family's poor, selling newspaper, and then go to school. So all the days of my life to this day, I've always in sales.
Wow.
I have never seek employment or work for a paycheck from anyone in my life. I'm 66, and for the past 60 years, I'm literally selling, be a street vendor. In those days, we had two different types of people living in our country, races, the Indians and the African descent. For the African descent, selling on the street as a vendor was considered what I'm looking for a good word, but what it was scorned among our people because you don't have a job. So I was one of the people that all the parents in the village want their daughters never to talk to me because I am worthless.
Oh, wow.
Because of what I'm doing. I had to leave at an early age and venture out on my own and begin to realize I need a better education. So I began to enroll myself back into school and start the journey of educating myself all over again, what I didn't get in school. And here I am today, helping a lot of people around the world.
That story alone is enough to inspire anyone who's watching, who may have grown up in an area where they feel like they're worthless. I grew up in something similar in a place called Backwood. No, just that name alone, you already know. You can only imagine what that was like.
Wow.
Sharing these stories give people hope to young people who are maybe watching you from the same place, and it will inspire them to know that there is better and they can make something of themselves. And the fact that you had the strength and the courage to not allow people's words to keep you down, that alone was great strength, and what's needed for the success that you now have, because look at you now.
I'm speaking to you today. I'm 66. I never know a man that I could call biological father in my whole entire life.
Wow.
So I grew up fatherless, don't know, was hoping when I was growing up, one day I will get to see him. And sometimes it still brings tears to my eyes because I just don't know what that would have been if I'd get to know him.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your mom like? Because I know as a single mom, how difficult it is to raise children.
She was, I could say overloving. 11 of us, all boys, and we got to work, not really highly educated, so work with our hands and work in homes and do odds and ends just to see if we could survive.
Wow.
Yes, so it was a tough time that when you look back, you testify and say, when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he have done for me, my soul cry out. That you actually know that you know your Jesus now that you get turned around. No one in the family knew Jesus Christ. It was a family that never even know nothing about church. At 16 years old, I'm the first one, went to a crusade, Jeremiah Prescott, and came back home. A lady that night held my hand, because those days I was very skinny, and tugged me to the altar. You say you shouldn't force people to accept Jesus Christ, but that's the one person I appreciate in my whole life. I give my heart to the Lord back then, and I thank God that I did it. And thanks be to God for her. But was the first person in my household got saved, and all hell break loose because I grew up in a place where it had carnival and masquerading and so forth.
Yes.
So the whole family was involved in it. And I came home and I had lots of opposition. When I get baptized, I hid being baptized. I have to hid it. Nobody could have known I was going to get baptized because nobody was supporting it in the house.
So you had to hide that from your family. How did they find out? And what was it like after you went home and said, I'm not baptized?
It was horrible.
Yeah.
If I know if I was living in America back then, maybe they might have charged a preacher for baptizing a 16-year-old without the parents' consent.
Right.
But back then they get away with it.
Right. So you're now 16 years old, still working the streets, making a living to help, I'm sure your mom needed help to support 11 children. When you said you went away, what do you mean? You moved away from the country of Trinidad?
Well, yes, but before moving away from Trinidad, I ran away from home and went to another village to live, looking for a better life.
Oh, wow.
I ran away.
That must have hurt your mom. So did you keep in touch?
Yes, it did. It did hurt her.
Did you ever get back in touch with them at a later date?
Yes, always. I run away, and when I work and I have money, I will bring the gift to her, and everyone wanted to know where I live and all kind of stuff, and I wouldn't tell anyone.
Wow. So what was it like when you ran away? Because now you're totally on your own, no family
I'm
support.
totally on my own. I'm renting a room. I'm trying to do things for myself. I'm learning by trial and error. I'm living among the Indian people, and I start to learn their culture.
Oh, okay. Oh, what was that like?
That was good because everything I learned from them is about, I could use it in a sentence as Bill Gates: if you're born poor, it's not your fault, but if you die poor, it's your fault, so that you can make a change. Then I migrate to America.
Okay. Oh, no, what was that like? Because I know that that's not easy, that transition. Culture shock is
The
different.
opportunity to get to America is something that I was dreaming of. So when I came to America, I kissed the ground and the airport, and said, this is the place I will dwell now because I'm looking for something better than where I know I started. I didn't know what better is really, but I'm looking for something better than what it was. And I began my journey. And as I began the journey, God opened doors. I continue selling on the streets as a street vendor. You can just name it. Maybe I sold it. Water on the street. I sell flowers. I remember selling flowers in New York. The best time to sell flowers is when you go to the Broadway shows and you see those rich people going to the Broadway shows, and we get to find out Friday nights the rich people take out their girlfriends, and Saturday night they take out their wives. So the girlfriend night used to sell more flowers because they impressing the young lady or whoever they might have more than when they want to impress the very said wife. So they'll buy the flowers quicker than the Saturday night. So we knew how to maneuver in sales and where you can things was going. But that was back then. And in the 80s, I get involved in real estate.
Oh, okay.
I became a real estate broker over the years.
So how was your Christian life during all this time, the transition, moving from place to place? Because you got baptized really young.
Yes. Well, so the Christian life has been, when you get knocked down, you have to get up. But I thank God that I always get up in terms of being knocked down, get yourself, like you're going to church and then you might want to stop or do something else, what we call backslide. But thank God I always nip it.
Right.
That you didn't stray that far enough that it's too hard to come back. So it was challenges over the years, but thanks be to God that I'm here, especially the experience I got in 2010.
Right. So 2010. So when did you're talking about that diagnosis with the cancer,
yes, yeah?
So so you've moved to America. Things seem to be getting better and better for you. You're improving your quality of life. You're living the dream because you're now in a country where those dreams can be realized. And then what happened? How did you lead up to you getting this diagnosis?
Well, 2003, which have nothing to do with the cancer, I had an accident and fell and almost broke my neck. A Jewish doctor, he was in his 90s back then, and he told me not to do the surgery because I may not walk again. But I live with a pinch this on my neck, especially for the cold weather, how it will react. But at age 47, 5 years before 2010, I was 52 by 2010, I began to have some lower back pain. I began to suffer from erectile dysfunction until I couldn't function and no longer have intimacy with my wife, and I'm not even 50 years of age back then. But I never really take it seriously because of ignorance of I'm a man and doctors are for ladies and men don't go to doctors, and you're trying to show this kind of masculinity that you could overcome stuff without going to doctors and so on. So I never went to the doctor to check out anything whatsoever until one morning, trying to come out of bed, my wife asked me what happened. I said, I can't move. Trying to move my legs and so on. And when getting to the ER, of course, they tested. Of course, I need to go and see a specialist to confirm it was cancer in the prostate.
Wow.
Excuse me if I tearing up a little bit, but sorry about that.
Oh, no need to apologize.
You didn't come here to see no, I apologize because you need for me to speak to you instead of somebody crying in front of you.
No, I'm here to hear your story, whatever that is. And if it means that it brings you to a place where you feel vulnerable, this is why I love doing this so much, because you're being truthful and honest with your emotions. And we don't need people to know that if something hurts, it hurts. You just don't stay there. And I'm excited to hear, after getting this diagnosis, which I cannot begin to imagine that feeling, how you got to where you're sitting down now, about to teach us about how to live a better life. So no need to apologize. So you got the diagnosis, you have cancer. Tell me what that was like for you that day.
It was horrifying. If I don't know if I wasn't saved because I didn't even act it as saved, but I look at the doctor and I begin to say to myself, do you know who I am? Because now I'm a pastor and you're telling me I have cancer. I pray for people, for God to heal them. And it started sinking, and I literally cried because the cancer was not only in the prostate, it was in the 4th stage.
So you had stage 4 cancer.
Stage 4 cancer.
So let's back up just a little bit, because what I heard was that you had already become a pastor when you got this diagnosis.
Yes, I was a pastor.
So tell me a little bit of how you got to being a pastor before you got this diagnosis.
I was ordained in 1992 as an evangelist.
Mm-hmm.
And at God's Battalion of Prayer from Reverend Dr. Alfred Cockfield Sr.
Mm-hmm.
And as I began doing evangelism, preaching in the Bible Belt, that's one of the things I regret doing. Not preaching, but being as evangelist and doing evangelistic service. By 10:30 in the nighttime, you now begin to preach. 12 o'clock, 11:30, 12 is still praying for people in prayer lines. And then they bring you to fellowship hall and feed you with rice and beef and pork and you name whatever comes to the mind to cook for you. You will eat it and then take it back to the hotel and sleep. I did that for almost 20 years. So of all the lifestyle that I'm living, that helps contribute to building up acidity contents in my system, where I became vulnerable, where I was rudely awakened by knowing that I have cancer. During that time, eventually started pastor. So I'm an evangelist pastor in a church, Christ Ambassadors in Brooklyn, New York. And lo and behold, 2010 as the beginning of the year, in at least March of 2010, I get diagnosed with cancer.
Wow. So you had been praying for people, helping them to get their healing, encouraging people when they were going through their things, and now you are that person.
Even eulogizing people and doing funerals whereby the pastor knows everything when the people are sick, and sometimes when the casket is not open because of chemo disfigured the loved ones, and they will come to many pastors, the family needs support. They need me to come, and they want to see the loved one for the last time, but they need the pastor support. So I will go with them and see the member of the church or whoever that I may perhaps know, and they knew as their family for the last time because the casket will not be open. So all these things I experienced and see before I personally had cancer, or know that I had cancer.
Tell me about the days leading, the days after you got that diagnosis, what it was like.
They recommend surgery, recommend chemotherapy. I began to cry. I came home. Actually, I will still make the point to say, how come I cannot pray like that when I prayed? Because that's the time I believe I actually prayed for the first time in my life, what praying means. Because we could use a lot of words and call out to God, and I realized that eloquent words and praise you with adoration and all kind of stuff. But when I came home, I prayed to the point of begging God for my life. You prayed until your mouth get dry. There is no, like you're weeping and crying. My wife will come and pray with me, then she will leave to go do something, come back, I'll fall asleep, and I get back chanting, praying, and asking God, I don't want to use chemo. I don't want the chemo. I've seen what it did to people. I don't want no surgery because I believe I will not make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I began to make promises to God, which it's good and bad, but I think it's bad because right now I'm asking God if he could take me out of the promise, that if he give me a chance to live healthy again and heal me, I will not stop, but anything I could possibly do to help somebody live a better life, healthier life. That's how I get involved in what I'm doing. I'm just trying, when it's what I'm doing today and speaking to you and doing seminars and Zoom and everything, I make money with it, but people think that, okay, he's such a nice man and he's doing it. They don't know I'm trying to fulfill my end of the bargain with God because he could keep his own, but I'm still struggling to keep mine. That's what happened. After praying, less than 24 hours, a young woman who was ringing doorbells door to door, teaching people how to alkaline the blood, how to live a healthier life. And she was rejected, which is very common in the world. People don't have time, nonsense. She's selling a product. So if she's selling something, all she wants is money and making up a story and saying certain things to you. And lo and behold, she said, when I was going back to the car, that's long after the story, to a car to leave to go home, she just think about, let's do one more doorbell. She rang my doorbell. And I thank God for the first miracle that ever takes place in my life is not the healing of the cancer. That was easy. It's the mindset to receive the message, to receive. The hardest thing is to receive. One of the biggest thing that people are suffering, some people are poor today because of they couldn't see opportunities. They can't see it. They didn't take it. That's the most difficult things that's hindering us from where we are to where we could have been in the world. That is the prayer that you pray to God give you the discernment and that revelation so that you could see it, what nobody cannot see. And always remember when Jesus heal a man with the blind man, and he asked him, how you seeing now? He said, I see people walking like trees. So I know it's possible that a lot of stuff that is in front of us, that when you see it like trees, you cannot see it clearly until you get a second touch. So I thank God that miracle took place. That was the first miracle in my life.
Amen. Who would have thought you would thank God for you getting that diagnosis? Because now, because of your experience, look at what you're doing for others. Another lesson, that young lady that was walking door to door. Sometimes when you do those kinds of work, you really don't feel like there's any value in it. But look at how she changed your life and is causing changes in so many other people's lives. But so she rang your doorbell and you opened the door.
And she began speaking to me. She didn't speak to me about the antioxidant as of yet. She went on for 30 minutes telling me about business and network marketing and it's a good business. And I was not interested. I never heard about it before.
Right.
Right. So I'm not interested. And maybe, the little bit I heard about it is a pyramid. So I'm not interested in no pyramid or something. It's a trick. So I'm not interested. But before she left, she saw the lack of interest and she switched the conversation from being business to health and wellness. And I began to listen. And as I keep listening, I reach out, and she had a product that contained 13 vitamins, 16 minerals, 10 amino acid, and 1 essential acid fat. At the time, I had no clue. The knowledge I have today, being a certified health and wellness coach or certified holistic health practitioner, at the time I was not, so I did not know.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it was God sent.
Of course.
So I took it. Bye. And when I bought that drink, it had used 2 ounces up to 3 times a day in the bottle. And the first time when I got it, it tasted so good, I drank the whole bottle.
What's the name of this drink?
The power, it's now nicknamed the Power 5. But
Power.
yes, the Power 5. Mm-hmm. So as I began to drink it and start to drink it every day, one reason came to me was, if I drink 2 ounces 3 times a day and I die, because this already told me I will expire in 7 months if I don't do, with the stage of the cancer, or I drank the bottle a day and I die, what difference it make? Mm-hmm. And I had a friend who was diagnosed. We become friends at the same Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And he had stage 4 prostate cancer, 4 months to live. I had 7. And that same time, when I got it, I called him. I said, I found something. And I'm not going to do no surgery no more. I'm determined. I said, look, don't let them do it. We in this together. He wanted to take it, but his family advised him differently. So unfortunately, he didn't make it. He did surgery and chemo, but he didn't fare too well. But the family didn't want it because, like everything else, I didn't read nothing. So you're supposed to read, supposed to study it before you put it in your body. Suppose she's taking your money and hustling you. I've heard it all. I have preachers came and said to me, you're suicidal. You have an insurance card. These doctors are the best doctors that do surgery. And you listen to this woman. Some of my family members didn't even like her at the beginning. Because they felt that she came and brainwashed me.
Right.
And I keep telling people, she didn't brainwash me. Thank God I didn't die, because they might have sue her and go after her, because I decided I'm all in. And I don't know nothing. All I told my friend is that he asked if we have any guarantees. I said, there's no guarantees. I asked the lady. She said, I make no medical claim. I said, but if I'm here in 2011, I know it worked. And I know it worked. And the first thing that when I got healed, the first place I went back was Trinidad and Tobago, thinking that I came from, before I even went to Jamaica and even Antigua, Trinidad was the first stop I make.
Wow.
And I took with me my medical records thinking that they will believe. They didn't believe nothing. I have to leave my own people and travel out. Now they believe it to get my medical records. Like what I'm showing you here right now, I'm doing it because my lawyer says I cannot show my ID number, medical ID number to disclose. Before, when I started off, I was dumb and stupid. I used to show my records and show my ID number and everything to the whole world because I didn't know better.
Right.
Oh, I took this with me on television in Trinidad, and when they put it on, the whole nation was seen on TV. What happened? I had medical doctors come and look at it. These are the stuff that they give you when you have cancer, and instructing you before surgery. Everything. I have a lot of stuff if I show it to you to read up. The first book they gave me was this book here questions and answers about 100 questions and answers about prostate. It blew my mind to understand that Caribbean Black men have the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world. I never knew that. And science don't even know why.
I did not know that either. So there must be
All in
something.
the Caribbean. They used to call it stoppage of water. And
I've heard before, yes. I've heard it before.
And men used to hide it. They used to die and nobody knew they have cancer because it affects your manhood. And when it affects your manhood, you don't want nobody to know because as
Okay.
everything, women will laugh at you because of this and whatever the case may be. But
Okay. So you went straight into starting this drink, this power drink. Did not take any other medication, did not do chemotherapy. How long before you started seeing results that this
I
thing
didn't
was?
take these things because I was ignorant at the time. So I didn't take it. I was all in.
Mm-hmm.
After 2 weeks of using the dietary supplement,
Mm-hmm.
the pain that was overbearing, that I needed help to the restroom, that you have to train yourself when you get up, you shake yourself and, okay, put 1 foot forward, 1 foot. So you're making yourself walk. I wasn't crippled, but it was challenging.
Right.
That's when I knew how to appreciate little things in life with God, because when I could walk, take it as a blessing that you could, because wait until you meet the person who cannot walk and wish they could walk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I started realize that I can walk to the restroom for myself now, even though I was in pain. So it was
Right.
a little bit of cue that maybe something is happening.
Right.
1 bottle a day, didn't have no money, don't have the money to buy it. I decided when I asked God, well, you bring this lady to me, she gave me the drink now, how am I going to pay for it? And he told me to go sell it.
Mm.
So 30 bottles a month, I will order 60 bottles. And all I wanted to do was sell 60 bottles to make enough money to drink 30 bottles for free. That was my theory. And then I get a rude awakening. My first set of sales I try to make, I get turned down. I go to my siblings, I call my brothers and they, people that know you, who's supposed to care for you. They all promised I. But guess what?
Nobody, right.
14 years later, they never buy one.
Wow.
Strangers who did not even know who I am, I approach in the street, say I'm selling something, and they're the ones who help.
So now you're back in the streets. You're able to move around, and now you're back in the streets selling this product.
Yes, I began to sell it. I wasn't selling it beyond what I'm saying right now, like what I do currently now.
Right.
But back then, all I needed was to sell enough so that I could drink enough, because my ultimate goal was just to live, to see
Mm-hmm.
my children raised. So I am just 52 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm crying before God. I even start to blame God. I have to ask God for forgiveness. I started blaming for my sickness.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you call yourself Jesus, but you allow me to get sick and I'm your servant. And I started comparing myself to public enemy #1, no names in the world, which I wouldn't mention, who did heinous crime that we know, and we don't know nothing about their sick in the public figures. And I started comparing myself. And when I realized I did wrong, I asked God for forgiveness. Because
Mm-hmm.
God told me, he answered me. One night, down in bed, and he came and says to me, you disobey the laws of health. He began to remind me. So many people came to me before to tell me about antioxidants and they should use them. And I chased them away because I was involved in vanity, watches and cars and things that did not bring no benefit to my life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a nice kind of nice watch and brand name clothes and all kind of stuff, you want to feel like you're all that on a bag of chips. Now, but now reality sinking now. I'm sick. So cars and nothing worries me anymore because all I want is my life back. And then I only read Hezekiah. Every day I'm reading Isaiah 38 with Hezekiah when he was sick.
Wow. Sometimes God have to really reach out and make something drastic happen for us to stop and recognize and realize. So now you're able to sell these products and you're seeing more and more improvement. When was the first time back at the doctor that they told you that things are really changing?
No, I've been to the doctor many times. It's September of that same year.
Mm-hmm.
He says to me, the cancer is still there, but he's kind of confused now
Mm-hmm.
that why the PSA level dropped so drastically low. The cancer is
Mm-hmm.
still there.
Mm-hmm.
And many times I'll make appointment to do the surgery. I'm a human being. The
Yeah.
pressures of life, your
Mm-hmm.
family, everybody needed to do it. So okay, I'm going to do it. And you call and make the appointment. Last minute, I'll back out. I'll cancel it. Even the morning of going in to see the doctor, take a shower, and they're waiting to take me. He start up again. I'm not going. I'm scared to do it. But in September, when he says the PSA level drop, me personally, sometimes in life, you want to hear something that nobody's hearing. You're hearing something. So I took
Mm-hmm.
it I use it as a code word to mean that whatever I'm using, I should continue using it more aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
So now it emboldened me more. I even have my cousin one day called by, I think it's October. Things are winding down. Please don't leave us confused. Try to get paperwork done so that no one will know. Be confused of who gets this and who gets. And at 16 years old, you see me with a tie. For the last 50 years, I'm wearing shirt and tie. It doesn't matter when I'm on the street selling, I wear tie. Young man or whatever. So people think I was a nerd, but all this time. So since I wear shirt and tie all the rest of my life, wherever I am, if I'm going on the street or you're going on a cruise, I have on a tie and whatever the case may be. So they begin to ask what color tie and suit and stuff you want to wear. If you could write your eulogy, and I refuse.
So they're planning your funeral.
Yes, I refuse.
The 7 months down.
I'm feeling better because by then, September, I'm feeling better. I could walk a little better and everything. I'm feeling better. Start back preaching. I might sit down and preach and get up a little bit and so on. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better. But the cancer, tell me, still there. Until December 20th, my next appointment. I'm feeling so good. But when I went to the appointment, I called the doctor by name and I says, Doc, I think I'm okay now. But if I tell you something, if you find cancer, even a speck of cancer, 100% I'm not going home. Take me to the surgery room and you remove the prostate. I'm ready.
Wow. Wow.
So I did the biopsy. Thank God it's a woman, so you have no idea what biopsy is, but it's the most painful thing that any human being could go through.
Mm.
And the biopsy, he told me, because to do a biopsy to get to the prostate, the only place they could get, all men, if men listening to this program, they will know it's through the rectum. That's it. They can't get there no other way. And they take pieces of your prostate. So when you finish your bleeding, so you have on Pampers after, right? So that was the 20th of December. So throughout Christmas season and Christmas Day, I'm in bed and still trying to recover from the procedure. And he told me at the beginning of the year, I will get the results. And I called. The nurse says he's not in, he's on vacation, he didn't come back yet. and they're not authorized to give me no information.
Mm-hmm.
Until the 15th of January, I'm in my office, and I get a call, and he asked me if I sitting or standing. I said, I'm sitting. And then he told me, because he is a religious Jew, I am religious Christian. So now he knows for a fact I'm radical, because every time they take a piece of tissue from me, I will cry out, Jesus, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, because they don't put you to sleep for it.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't put you to sleep to do it. Right? They just numb the area and they do it. They cannot put you to sleep, they say. All right? So he said, if Jesus came through for you, if Jesus worked for you this time, he said, because we can't find no cancer.
Oh my gosh.
He said, we thought it was an error, so we sent it back to the lab a second time. And he summons me to his office the very next day. He said, please, I want to see you.
So tell me when he said those words to you, what went through your mind? How did
I
you
began
feel?
to cry. Tears come to my eye for joy. He's
Mm-hmm.
talking to me, and I'm saying, why will I come and see you again? Because I don't want no more biopsy.
Exactly.
So I'm scared to come and see you. He said, no. He said, when you come tomorrow, the secretary, everyone will know. You don't have to wait. And when I get there the next day, he had 6 doctors from Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. All of them are specialists, surgeons, plus himself, ready to interview me and start. Who told you to drink this? Where you get this drink? How much you drink? Who told you to drink so much? And to the end, they told me I did the right thing, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm.
I did not know when I drank 3 glasses, the entire bottle, I was destroying free radicals in my body all day long. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Mm-hmm.
news to me. He says, if nobody told you, then imagine a Jew who don't believe Jesus Christ is the Messiah telling me now that Jesus inspired me to drink a bottle a day. That's where I'm getting the message from. Not from my bishop friends and them who come and talk to me. They can see it. You remember the woman at the with the issue of blood? She saw what she could get from Jesus, but Pontius Pilate didn't know who he was. But both of them see him, right?
Both
Pontius
time.
Pilate, Jesus stood in front of Pontius Pilate, but he couldn't see him as the Messiah. But the woman with the issue of blood see him as a savior.
Mm.
It's both parties looking at it. Is how you see it.
Mindset. Wow.
That is correct. And what you believe when I'm hanging up the phone on him, the person, my office door bell is ringing because she's just in the area, just dropping by to say hello. That's the person who bought me the drink. So before I could even call my daughter or my wife or anyone else, the person who brought it for me, who God used to save my life, she's the first person I get the message.
Wow. God was really
I
her.
said, I just hung up. I said, they say I have no cancer.
Oh,
and I was so happy. I remember watch night service while I was waiting for the report because I didn't know yet. Certain sermons I will forget over the years, but I cannot forget the sermon I preach. Crossover night. I preached from Acts chapter 16, 25 and 26, Paul and Silas. An earthquake. And I preached an earthquake that many of us need an earthquake in our life, a spiritual earthquake or medical earthquake. And I said, right now I've done everything. And I told the church. And my healing earthquake, I'm just waiting for it right now. That's all I could wait for. But I believe I am healed. I tell the whole church, I believe, and they were praying to God at night, they pray and everything. Yes, you are healed. And I believe God healed me. So now, let me make it clear for the listeners. The juice didn't heal me. Jesus is the one that healed me. God designed the body to heal itself. The deepest sleep, the third, fourth segment of sleep, everyone's supposed to sleep 90 minutes of your sleep, supposed to be in deep, deep sleep. That's where the body paralyzed and healing takes place, or you will get sick around that time. What you put in your body will determine the outcome. So when your body paralyzed every single night, you cannot live. That's why you cannot act out your dream. And for those people who don't believe in God, what a rapture is, every single day we are raptured back into life, from death into life. All human beings in the entire world. 90 minutes, not 91. If you get 91, you might not get back up. 90 minutes, the body is designed for that deep sleep to rejuvenate itself, the brain recharge, everything. That's why your best thoughts and best way to live, best thoughts is in the morning time. All the invention, great invention in the world took place in the morning time. Whatever you think about when you just get up in the morning or you're reading something, if you don't understand it then, 5 o'clock in the evening, it could be worse. The best is in the morning.
So great. So you're saying how did the juice help then?
It alkalined the blood. It changed my system from being acidic to alkaline. So I'm glad you asked. So we were born in a garden. God took and make man from the garden, from dirt. But we refuse to eat garden food. That's why we have problems. They have to bribe many people, the majority of the world, with salad dressing to eat the garden food, the little bit that we eat.
Yes.
And it's loaded with sugar. It's the added sugar, which I want to talk about today, the phytopower B, the sugar blocker, the added sugar, it what steals the minerals and vitamins from your body. The human body don't need any kind of added sugar. What scientists found out, the body could tolerate 32 grams a day. Tolerating something is by compromising and said, okay, if you get that amount, you're still in a safe zone. It's not that dangerous for the body. All the sugar that we need is from the garden, from corn, from cherries, watermelon, broccoli, kale, water crystals, everything, lentil beans, everything has sugar in it from the garden. That's the sugar that we need to eat. Lentil beans is the strongest beans in the world. White kidney beans is a sugar blocker. If you cook it and eat it, it will start to block sugar with beetroots and picolinate. All these different things come from the garden. You could use natural food, or you could use a dietary supplement if you want to.
But one of the things that people face, especially where we live now, is even getting these kinds of products to eat. They're always contaminated with pesticides or something. So it's very difficult to get those things in your diet.
This is why I began with after my disclaimer, the air you breathe, the water you drink. People are drinking bad water. The water in your bath. Look how many people are drinking bottled water, whatever name. I cannot call no brand name, but each person have a bottled water in there and they believe that water is better than the tap water, else they drink tap water. Why will you spend $3 a day in bottled water? $90 a month, $1,000 a year. For the last 24 years, you spent $24,000 in bottled water. You're on the way for a down payment for a house, if it's anything else. However, if you condemn water and the tap is no good to drink, why do you bathe with it? All the different skilled people that I speak to who wants to read up on stuff, how come nobody on their own ever Google and says the danger of bathing with tap water or municipal water, what's the danger? And you will be shocked.
You brush your teeth with it.
You brush your teeth with it. The same
Mm.
water you condemn to drink. So now the pesticides on your fruits and vegetables, the chemicals we're cleaning with, even the cookware you cook with, if it's not 18 by 8 stainless steel, the residue gets into the food that create metals. That's how I get sick with arsenic, right? Dr. Ralph Nader says 62 million Americans are exposed to arsenic in the water. That's a metal that causes cancer. The lack of sugar, your lack of sleep is what causes all the problems that we could ever imagine. So now I am here now to break it down to people. You could live a better life. You have a better chance.
So our environment is literally killing us. What can we do? How can these products that the one that you've used and the others, how does that help us?
Well, the first thing in life is all disease feed on sugar. Too much sugar in a child's brain is called ADHD. Too much sugar in adult brain is called dementia. Too much sugar in your system is called diabetes.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
Too much sugar in your eyes is called glaucoma. So when we start to look at what sugar does for the human body, we now could conclude and put it together and bring it together and says, the very first thing you need to do is block sugar. That's why the phytopower B that you got in that orange bag, calf blocker, block the sugar from damaging the endothelium, the lining of your red blood vessel. When lots of women in childbearing age, Black women, suffer from fibroids because the endothelium is dysfunctional. So they start to have growth, like endometrial growth and polyps and cysts on the ovaries and gynecological problems that begin to have included fibroids, which is plaguing the Black woman. 8 out of 10 Black women suffer with fibroids. So the sugar blocker, someone have diabetes, you need to restore the endothelium so that therefore the insulin producing cell will allow to produce insulin on its own, and the body now is able to what? To receive it. That's why diabetic patients, you can't blame people. They might think it's the product, but again, I wish I had the sugar blocker when I had cancer. A matter of fact, if I had sugar blocker, and for decades, scientists know about trying to block sugar because they know the dangers of sugar. 100 years ago, our food wasn't so loaded with sugar. Could you imagine in bread, sugar? You bring in your meat, you put sugar and oil, cake, every single thing we touch is loaded with sugar.
That's true.
Some people listening to me now, you're about to go out on an anniversary date, or your loved one is bringing, ladies, listen to me carefully. Sugar is so dangerous, it's worse than Jezebel. No woman in the world would name your daughter Jezebel. And if a man only call it Jezebel, that's the end of the relationship. But yet still they say, call me sugar. You want your husband, call it sugar. And sugar is worse than Jezebel. So why can't he call you plum or cherry, acai berry, or honey, like pure honey, like what Jesus said, honeycomb?
No sugar.
But no, you want them to call it sugar. And in a strange way, the diabetic world, the majority is women.
We like sweet things.
Sugar is what gets you there. You see somebody eating sugar and they close that one eye, it means you're getting none. They don't share it with nobody. You see somebody eating a piece of carrot and they ask if you want a piece of it.
Here.
Yeah, you see somebody eating ice cream, see if they share it with you. Or a pizza.
Oh, man.
You don't get none because the taste is so good because it's 8 times more addictive than cocaine.
I believe that. I believe
It is
that.
very, very, very painful to know what sugar causes. So when it's in the blood, too much gets in the blood, it's called diabetes. And diabetes, if you look at the word diabetes, diabetes, you have it for life.
Yes.
You become amputees. People go blind because of it. It's the reason why people are blind, like 8% of the world population. So now the sugar blocker today is the fastest dietary is on the market. It's growing leaps and bounds. Everybody use it. You need it. People need to have it on the kitchen counter or on the table. So instead of using sugar to sweeten your coffee, you could use the sugar blocker and sweeten your coffee.
That's a good point.
If you wanted to. I use it in oatmeals. I eat oats, organic oats. But instead of putting flavor or sugar in the oats, I use my sugar blocker.
What's the ingredients? Like this sugar blocker, right? What is in it?
White kidney beans, beetroot,
I love beetroot.
picolinate, that's a herb. You could Google it and get the herbs because some people listening now, they don't want to buy the product. They might go and buy the stuff and mix it up. Abaranose. So those are the ingredients in it. If we were eating it naturally, you don't need the sugar blocker.
Right.
If real food is much greater than supplement food.
For sure, yeah.
But because we cannot get it, we have to get it in this form, and it's organic.
Right. Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you're sick or you're not sick. Every single, look, people who are, if you're on drugs, a drug addict or alcoholic, need a sugar blocker to get rid of the addiction. If you have allergies, like one of the most famous stuff people have is peanut allergies. Children, peanuts. They like peanut butter, but they have allergies, they have breakouts. Every single thing, the first line of defense for the human body is stop the heavy sugar intake from damaging your system. Now we have other stuff you can take, we could talk about it. But the very first line of defense for any human being, here's why it's the first line of defense.
Yeah.
When we were small as babies, they give you formula. Women hold the entire world of life in their hand. And hopefully this generation, this is my new topic I'm speaking of since the World Organization confirmed it, to full breastfeed a child to the full extent. You will have a healthy generation because breast milk contains 13 vitamins, 16 minerals, 10 amino acids, 1 essential acid fat, the same thing I have to reach out to drink. I didn't get it when I was a baby, but I'm getting it when I'm old man now. If I knew this knowledge when my wife was pregnant, I would have drank that milk like milk going out of style every night. Because women hold the life of the world in their hands. She is the giver of life. So here's what we undergo. For 28 days, her reproductive organs is acidic. If it's not acidic, she suffers with yeast infection and everything because of the moisture and the lubrication of the walls of the birth canal. So now, you see, for 1 week, for the next 7 days, she's ovulating. She's ready to conceive. She's in that area of life. So for the male now, she can't do it by herself. She needs a partner. The male now, the seed is in the scrotum. And in the scrotum, It gets into the prostate, and the prostate do like this here, like a centrifuge. Spin it very fast, like 60 miles an hour, and alkaline the seed. That's why 92% of women who cannot get pregnant is the male seeds are not alkaline. It's too acidic, so you can't give life. That's why 1 in 7 couples can't conceive today. It's the male we have to work on. 8% is the woman. And even if you work on the woman, you have to work on the male. It's the male. The woman eggs is as old as she is. So when she get pregnant, the fluids surrounding the baby for 9 months is alkaline. That's why the placenta, you could eat it. Do like some people in India, go and boil it and make soup because it's fully rich in alkalinity. That's the afterbirth. Now, when the child born, the child is a human being. It needs human milk. You give the child cow milk. It's called formula. What madness is this? Cow milk is for cow.
Yeah.
Human milk is from humans, but need human milk, which need the milk from the mother. Now, you start to give the child sugar water to drink. Something, they used to call it glucose water back then.
Yep, I remember.
So the child 6 months old, guess what the child is already? Addicted to sugar. So growing up in life now, or even medicine and cough syrup you have to make for children, they have to be sweet, else they reject it. If it's not sweet, they don't want it. That's why they don't want to eat the vegetables. So you have to load it up to give them vegetables. You have to mix it up a lot with the salad dressing for them to eat it. Because the child is addicted for life. It's like the child is on cocaine. But the only difference between cocaine and sugar is legal. So you can have sugar shops and people buying chocolates and everything. It's legal. Cocaine is illegal. So you get up. So more people addicted to sugar than cocaine. It's the most addictive substance in the world.
I believe you. I agree.
Therefore, anybody in network marketing right now to regulate your microbiome, which is all parts of your body, even your skin, very first line of defense is the blocker. Everybody needs it.
Block the sugar.
You go to church, you finish preach, Sunday school, you're feeding the children with sodas, cake and ice cream. And the adults, I don't even know why Gabriel Michael is on vacation, but in the days, Michael come down and slap you up when you do this kind of stuff. But maybe he's on vacation. He's taking a break. So we getting away with stuff.
He's retired.
Listen to me. He got to be on vacation because how could you say you're not drinking soda as an adult and soda is for kids? If it's bad for you as an adult, it's bad for the kids. They are baby kids. They are human beings just as you are. So why will you give kids soda and say it's good for them? You ain't seeing need a cup in your face?
Where's Gabriel? Michael.
No, Gabriel is the one that come and do weddings and make you have children and things. Michael is the radical one.
Where's Michael?
Yeah,
wow.
Gabriel don't beat nobody. Gabriel can't fight.
So we need the sugar blocker to block because a lot of people, it's hard for them to change their diet. So the sugar blocker is the first line of defense.
It will help them because it suppress the diet. So when it starts, you just take this and morning and you will say, wait a second, how come I didn't get the chips and the this and the that and whatever? You ain't craving for nothing. You have to remember to eat.
That is true. Because I've taken it and it is absolutely true.
You have to know for a fact. And now you could be appetite so you're not go overeat. You're from Jamaica or Trinidad, they like a heap of food on a plate. You don't eat. The amount of food you're supposed to eat is the size of your fist. 5 to 8 times a day. Eat small portion all day long. That's what we do. You see it? You see the fist? That's full of fist, and that's the amount of portion you're supposed to eat.
Wow.
Can you imagine people eating things like they make I just get my kicks when I see, especially I see my friends who are university graduate. They say they don't eat pork no more, but they eating turkey bacon. Do you know what you have to take, how much chemicals you have to use to transform a pig, a turkey into a pig, for it to taste like a pig? So when it tastes in it, it tastes like the flavor of the bacon, but you know it's turkey. You know the process that have to go through in a lab. And people eating it and smiling. If you could eat turkey bacon, it might as well eat the pork bites. Go get a pig and kill the pig and roast them and eat them for yourself. You have a better chance.
Wow.
But you will eat something that just says, okay, this is turkey, but it's not turkey, it's pig. But it's turkey, it's healthier. So they'll make it taste like turkey, like pig, but it's not pig. And this is what we see in a society. Even preachers are eating watermelon without seed. You ever see the preachers eating grapes without seed and stuff now? This is madness. Genesis 1:29, he says, I give you every bearing seed for your food. Genesis 1:11 and 1:12, everything God made on the earth have seed. Why will you eat any type of fruit without seed? Why will anybody in the world? So we need to fix our mindset.
Yeah.
The church today have a health and wellness day, one day in the year. It normally is in a weekend. They bring people to test your pressure, test your diabetes, and you go back home sick. Nobody's teaching that the people that love you in your congregation need help and need to learn the lesson how to live healthier, what foods to eat, what food have more vitamins than the other food. Like lentil beans is the strongest beans upon the face of the earth.
Wow.
East is birthright, the most expensive bowl of soup that was ever sold in the world. A man sold his birthright to get a bowl of lentil soup. That was Esau. And you tell me I don't want it until everybody in the world should have lentil as a diet.
That is true. So this the sugar blocker, it does suppress your appetite. So that will also help with curbing the amount of food that you eat.
Correct.
What are some of the other products that you have and how do they help? Because it sounds like lifestyle need to change, and these products will help you to make that change.
So the next thing, when you block the next thing you need to attend to, which I attend to when I had cancer, was your phagocytes, your lymphocytes, the neutrophils, the monocytes, the leukocytes, the macrophages, which is your immune system or the white blood cells.
Okay.
It needs to be restored. So what you need from it now is the good bacteria to get back in the gut. That's why we talk about the gut microbiome. So with the sugar blocker, with the phytopower I to restore the immune system, you're now restoring back the bacteria that we were born with, because God made the body to heal itself. Could you imagine? Don't care who you are, man don't have no power to heal you. Only God could do it. And it's we that, because of our poor diet, the air you breathe, the water you drink, everything I was talking about earlier, weaken our antioxidant enzyme. So that same thing I told you from birth, from 0 to 25 supposed to be the best time in somebody's life. All the wrong things you're doing, but it's like magic. I ain't getting sick. You're eating the sweets, you ain't getting sick, you ain't seeing nothing. But your second trimester, 26 to 50, you start to get a little visitation that things are not as good as when you were 17.
Yep.
50 to 75 is the third one. I'm still living my third segment, because until I get to 75 to 100 is the fourth. However, that is when you will see remember the days when nobody could stop you from, you want to go out tonight and party and you don't want to sleep, and you could prove that you don't sleep and this and you eating whatever, start to pay off in the long run, because you weaken your thymus. you weaken and destroy and deplete your antioxidant enzyme. So this is what you need to restore back in the system. The good bacteria that people are lacking. All the lactobacillus strains, they come in many strains. The Aphidophilus, the Grassi, the Cassi, the lactobacillus plantarum, and the Ramesus bulgarius. Those are the strains that need to come back. And the Bifidum bacterium, they have also many strains that need to restore back the immune system. When the immune system is functionable, your body cannot get sick, and if it's sick, it will heal itself. That's why when a person's immune system is strong, you can't get cancer. You can't catch a cold. You'll be like the West Indies. You can't even catch a ball. You can't catch a cold. You're playing cricket. You can't catch nothing. You can't catch cold. You can't catch ball. You can't catch nothing. The West Indies cricket team. So you're going to be just like them. They can't catch nothing.
You're making enemies. You're making enemies. But listen, I commend you on using all those words just now, because I bite my tongue just listening to you saying them. But you are right. When your immune system is strong, when your immune system is strong, that's how you fight off all these things that are going around now.
So let me give you a secret. Dr. Otto Warburg in 1923, as a biochemist, he received a Nobel Prize in 1931 for it. He says, he found out that every single human being that is sick until today, when you test the blood pH, so you're listening to me, get your blood report and look at it, the blood is acidic. Every single person that is healthy, look at the blood report, it's alkaline. So if you have a baby, 5 years old, doesn't matter. You go and get a blood test, the baby get a blood test, you say, how come she is alkaline and I am not? Because this antioxidant enzyme still working in his system, so you go see it alkaline. So until you get to that place whereby no disease could exist in an alkaline, oxygenated, ionized environment. I teach these things on Zoom. I do classes, I do radio. August 9, I'll be speaking to a retreat upstate New York on the same very subject.
And I'm trying to get you to our retreat up in here in September too.
Okay.
So these other products, so we have a sugar blocker, and we have, is it one other product that help with the immune system, or is it like a bunch of
No, that's the Phytopower I.
So that's
now the other products is what you call targeted probiotics and probiotics. That's another subject. You need to have me about 18 hours to speak, right?
Yeah.
So now targeted probiotics is targeting specific stuff. When the immune system comes along, that's why you need the Phytopower B and the Phytopower B and the I, and they can do everything for you. But now you want to target certain stuff.
Right.
So the Phytopower C is for people who have brain disorders. Phytopower C will make you sleep. So when you sleep correctly, 7 to 9 hours a night, that deep sleep is where the healing process will go. Because you could eat all the broccoli in the world and don't sleep. The man that eat junk food and sleep have a better chance than the man eat broccoli and don't sleep. Because you can't defy God's ordinance. If you're willing and obedient, you will eat the fat of the land. And willing and obedience is not only obeying the spiritual aspect of God's word, but in terms of being healthy. Because when you're not healthy, you can't preach, you can't function in God's ministry.
Can't do anything, yeah.
So you're disobeying. So the Phytopower E is because it means energy is in balance. So people have, the energy in the body is not balanced. So the electricity or electrons is not going through the body as with equal measure of what it's supposed to be. So the Phytopower E, you give that person. The Phytopower original, the one you get in the box. You remember we talk about the garden?
Yes.
that contain 40 micronutrients that I talk about. All the vegetables and everything is supposed to eat, and the kids don't want to eat it. One package of that give you everything for the day, and it's all organic. So that's literally a food. It's a Phytopower Original in the box.
And what about the drink? The one that you used when you were diagnosed?
That come from a different company.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So these products, the suggestion is that you take one of each daily. How many, what's the recommendation?
One of each daily, yes.
Okay. And
but you must remember how I get healed. It's a pocketbook. So if your pocketbook is struggling with you, you do the instructions. But the more antioxidant you put in the body is directly proportional how long you're going to live, how healthy you're going to be, how fast you will get results. So if somebody on their own wants to take more, they just have to spend more money. That's all it is. If you have too much of the vitamins and minerals in your body, you go wee-wee a lot. You're supposed to wee-wee 6 to 7 times a day. So now you urinate maybe 10 to 12 times a day because you have too much niacin in your body. It will send you to, like if you have too much niacin, you feel like little dingles in your face and you feel like rubbing your face more often and everything, rubbing your nose. That's too much of the vitamin B3 is in your system. It's good to have too much than too little.
You're saying follow the instructions that's on these packets, how much you need. And this is safe for children too, yeah?
The Phytopower B, everybody, babies can take it.
Okay, good.
The rest of stuff is going to be case by case, but the Phytopower B, babies, toddlers, put it in a thing and let them drink it and hold it. They're even smarter than adults. You can see them holding on to it and drinking it.
And this is something that you recommend that folks take continuously. I mean,
continuously. Or get the food and eat it continuously.
All right. Now tell us how we can access these products. How do we reach out to you? How do we purchase them?
So give me a minute before I answer this. I have two last pieces. The Phytopower W and the Phytopower T that you got, that I sent for you.
Right. We didn't talk about it.
The Phytopower W is probiotics to regulate the adiponectin. The adiponectin is what stores fat. That's why people have big belly. And that's why they go and pray and fast and all kinds of stuff. They lose the weight and they put it back on. Only because they never address the cause. So that deals with that. And the Phytopower T, as in Thomas, is thermogenic. It burns the fat. That's why at 65, if you see me now, like if you could see when I bring up my before and after, at 65 last year, I lose all the weight, I take off the belly, and I ain't putting it back on.
Wow.
I was a fat boy, chubby fat boy.
Wow.
Right? And men are wicked people, by definition. We are wicked. You have the big belly, you're married and the bed is undefiled and your wife making noise and calling, oh God. You think that you're doing something great, but this time it's a belly that damaging the woman's organs.
Pastor John.
You're hurting the no, we are wicked. And you wouldn't want to go and take the belly down. And the woman just can't breathe. When she says she calling oh God, she calling God because she tried to breathe. But we think, okay, we walking down the street and telling your partner, boy, last night, boy, I just do this and you're tonguing like a shot or whatever. You know, big shot. It's a big belly. We need to get rid of it.
Oh my gosh.
I am serious. We have it in church. Big belly man all over the place. We need to help them. That's what will take off the weight. And they could get them. They could get these products. You need to give people your name so they could contact you for it, to get the products so that you could order it for them.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, and I'm putting together a group of people that I would love.
And give them your telephone number so they could see. And if you have anybody, until you learn, we do 3 calls. You could call them. I could speak to them. I'll make the recommendation. I just went and Pastor Journal Redeem. He had me in a prayer meeting. First time I see people have a prayer meeting with WhatsApp. So 25 people, every single one of them asked me question that night and I answered for 2 hours.
Wow.
That was Tuesday gone. This week gone. Wednesday, the lady called where they tell me about she or they give her 3 chemo shot. And I says, are they crazy? She called and make the order Wednesday. She was
Wow.
there by Thursday. She didn't even get the products.
Wow.
That's why I says the life you save might be your very own.
Mm-hmm.
The rejection in the years gone by before I had cancer, and they tried to teach me these things. I was like everybody, I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
I like scallion and onions, but time, I don't have no time. None of us, nobody has time. They have scallion, they have onions, they have celery, but they have no time.
And another thing, people spend so much money investing in, like you said earlier, cars and the things that people can look at them and think that they're successful. A lot of people don't invest in themselves personally, in their health. Without health, you can't do nothing at all. You cannot experience and enjoy these material things. You can't experience and enjoy your family. You cannot do God's work. You cannot do anything. So the most important investment is in self. I'm going to grab these products because I want to put them on the screen real quickly as we just do a quick little summary over them.
Good. So while she's coming back, she's on her way back to talk to us. Just remember, I want everyone to remember that your body is the only legal document you have to give you the right to be on earth. There is no other document that you could possess. So when you get up in the morning, that's your body that gives you the right to be on earth. When you are dead, you are being disposed. Even people who love you don't love you enough to stay in the cemetery with you. They leave you there by yourself. And take care of yourself. Only 8 to 10 people cry at a funeral, and people doubt me. Next time you go to a funeral, I want you to count and see how many people cry, especially if you're Christian. They come to the funeral like they're going to a wedding because they tell you it's homegoing service. They sing all the songs and they're ready to go to the repast. And then they argue about you get 2 more plates than me and they'll get more food and this and that. But only 8 to 10 people cry at the funeral. And your body is the only place you have to live in. I am talking to the young lady. She could only live in her body. My daughter can live in her body. I can live in my body. Nobody can do it for you. So your immune system needs your help. Only you can help you. Nobody can help you. The lady presented the products to me, but only I cannot drink it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have refused like anybody wants to refuse.
Oh, yes. I just want to do a quick screen. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
So that's the Phyto B. That's the sugar blocker.
That is known today. The carb blocker is called Phytopower B. The nickname I give it because it's what it does. It blocks the damage in your system.
Right. Okay. And then this is a quick look at the...
That is the Phytopower T. That is the thermogenic. That will burn the fat because of the Lactobacillus casgraci will help you burn the fat.
I like when you say those words, the bacillus and the cyphacillus, okay? That's
the Phytopower C.
Right.
That will help you to sleep. If you have Alzheimer's, if you have dementia, Parkinson's, ALS, multiple sclerosis, stroke, brain disorders, and you're forgetting your memories and all kind of stuff, all the ladies need to take this here because when you see him, the husband go out and he come home lying to you, you could remember that he lied last week and then you catch him.
Then you catch him in the action, okay?
Yes, because you can remember now. The Phytopower I, that is to restore the immune system.
Right.
When the immune system is strong, the body heals itself.
Okay, we got this one.
So that Phytopower I and the Phytopower B, if you have fibroids, that's why you're taking for it also. This one is the Phytopower E. that balance the energy in your body. So all those energy packs and stuff you people buying at the store and drinking and whatever, and then you have a crash before sundown, you need it.
Right, the sugar, yep. And then we got this one.
That's the Phytopower W. That is the one that have all the probiotics that repair the adiponectin, that the fat hormone in the system needs to go.
Right, it says targeted probiotics for weight management. So
that is correct.
All right. And then this is the Phytopower.
That's the Phytopower Original that have all the garden food. Let me tell you about the garden food, that what that have in it.
Yeah.
74% of people in the world don't eat enough green food from the garden. 76% of people in the world don't eat enough red food from the garden. 74% of the people in the world don't eat enough yellow and orange food from the garden. 74% of the people in the world don't eat enough purple and blue food. And finally, 96% of the people in the world don't eat enough white food from the garden, like cauliflower, onions, garlic. I don't like garlic, and the life you save might be very old. So that box you have, pick it up in water, and you mix it up, one a day, and you have a full meal. If somebody, look, you can't find that in the farmer's market, what it costs you for that one box.
And I just want to show folks what the packet looks like. It's a small packet. And they're all packets. Like this is the carb blocker. So I just put this in my water bottle and I mix it out and I drink it normal like I would drink anything else. So they taste really good. You know, most times you take health stuff, they taste horrible. They taste really good. So just wanted to share what it looks like. Listen, we could have you on here, like you say, for another 24 hours just talking about each of these things. But I love that this is a complete package. You talk about the first thing, the first line of defense, and then we talk about the targeted products that we can use to target specific things like weight loss, infertility, and all of that. So I am so excited to continue to share about these products. I believe that your story is such a great inspiration for folks because I cannot begin to imagine what that diagnosis was for you, where you had to stop, be still, reconsider your relationship with God, but the fact that you trusted him enough and that you're keeping your end of the bargain because you made a deal. So it was very inspiring to hear, you know, talking about where you started from, how you got to where you are today. For me, when I got baptized, I had this fairy tale idea in my head that everything was just going to be perfect now. And that was really the beginning of some of the struggles that I experienced. But just because of my trust and my faith and belief in God, I am where I am today. So I love sharing stories like this when people encounter things, go through things, and not just come through, but have the mindset where they want to turn around now and help each other. So I do appreciate you more than anything for that. And for coming on here and telling us about your story and what work you're doing now. What final word do you want to say to anyone?
Let me leave you with this, yeah? And then every 38 seconds, someone died from cardiovascular disease. Now you're going to know the work at hand. Every 30 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. Every 57 seconds, someone died from cancer. Every 67 seconds, someone is diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia. 1 in 3 adults suffer from high cholesterol or high blood pressure. 40 million people in America now diagnosed with diabetes, and 90 million is pre-diabetic. 1 in 7 couples have problems conceiving. 52% of all men suffer from erectile dysfunction. That means 52% of all men going to hell, because when you talk to them, they try to tell you that they don't go through this kind of stuff because we keep telling people lies. 42 million people in America have asthma. 80% of the world population suffer with pain. 80 million bottles of aspirin is sold every day in the world. There are 20 million Viagra pills is sold every day in America. And 1 in 5 teenagers and adults is infected with genital herpes. I urge you to take care of yourself. Always consult a doctor before making any final. Always consult your medical doctor before making any final decision for your life. I am here and I want to thank you for having me on. You make no medical claim. The truth is, I am speaking to you from the point of view that your body heal itself, and I'll give God the glory.
All the time. One quick question. That drink that you took, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about it. So tell me a little bit more about that product and how folks can access it.
They could call me or you could contact me and let me know how you want, if you want to get involved with that drink also. But
right.
Itself contain 13 vitamins, 16 minerals, 10 amino acid, 1 essential acid fat. An equivalency to the drink is the box that you have in your hand.
Oh, okay. And it does basically the same.
Equivalency. Some people insist, especially if they're sick, they want to use exactly what I use. That's why I still sell it. So that's fine.
Okay.
Right? It's the vitamins and minerals that is in it.
Similar to this box here. So it's basically, it's a similar product, similar work, similar use.
Yes, the vitamins and minerals contained inside of it so that you will get it from it. So all together.
Tell me, how can folks who would love to keep up with you and how can they reach out to you, find out more information about you, follow you on social media? What are the points of contact for you?
I'm an old man now, so I don't have much social media. I got Facebook is Alkaline Pastor John. And my number is 516-286-7079.
Okay, and are you still preaching?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you want to share your church with us?
Oh, Christ Ambassadors, Brooklyn, New York. And if somebody wishes to attend via Zoom, they could always text me and I could always send them the link for Zoom if you're not in the same local city with.
Really? Okay. Listen, it was such a pleasure. I am so glad we got to do this because I feel like this message needs to be shared. You were very funny. So I love that. And I love the fact that you were comfortable enough to get vulnerable and to really share some personal things with us. I really appreciate you. And I think that a lot of folks are going to be inspired by this. And it will open up their eyes too, because those numbers and statistics they give us, people don't really think about it until they're sick themselves. So I love bringing this kind of message and have some kind of solution for people when we highlight some of the problems that they may be facing. So God bless you. And I so appreciate you today.
And I thank God to be healthy again. Almost 14 years.
From 7 months to 14 years.
And when I speak in big forum, I don't say 14 years, I give the days because I count the days.
What?
I count the days that I live now.
Wow.
It's over 5,000 days I'm alive since I get cancer.
Beyond the day when they told you had 7 months. Yeah. That's a massive story. That alone is enough. So I thank God for his grace. I thank God for you. And I thank God for the work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you. Have a great day today and a better one tomorrow.
Same to you. Thanks.